I'm now pleased to introduce Kelsey Horsting, class of June 2015, to present the student address.
What a beautiful morning. Thank you all so much for coming and taking the time to celebrate with us today. The excitement and the energy is, in fact, palpable. It reminds me of October 5th, 2012, the date of our orientation at UWS, and it was sunny unlike it is today. But upon arrival to the campus and entering Hampton Hall, you could definitely feel the excitement and the energy. And the anxiety, not surprisingly, which is associated with this kind of commitment and life change. Aside from discerning who's Canadian, who's American, one of the greatest things that struck me was that every single person had a story about how they found chiropractic and why they chose to pursue this as their career. Some were inspired to look into this line of work after observing DCs in the field, who just unquestionably loved what they did, while others fought the idea for a while because maybe a parent is already a DC. And it doesn't matter if your kids are 11 or 27, they have to decide these things for themselves outside of any heavy parental influence. I was also struck by the stories of students deciding that chiropractic aligned with their healthcare beliefs more than pharmacy or naturopathic medicine. There was more than one instance I came across involving firsthand experiences as a patient, which were so profoundly life-changing that it sent them down this path. Needless to say, there was not a single story where the DC program was just a default choice. Our decisions were quite inspired, actually, and I think that lends itself to great strength and diversity in this class. Ultimately, what matters most is that we are all very passionate about what we do. In first quarter, I came across a brilliant quotation from Nelson Mandela, which states, "There is no passion to be found playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one that you are capable of living." And these words, they just captured me and inspired me in a way that is very hard to articulate, but I'll try. In any event, I wanted to have it as a mantra or affirmation that would be readily accessible on a daily basis, so I wrote it on my coffee mug. I'm sure you're all aware of the frequency that DC students consume caffeinated beverages. Even though it's not the most glamorous way of paying homage to Mr. Mandela, it is certainly with the utmost respect that I did so. In fact, his words can still be found to this day on said mug, because I could not find anything that so succinctly captured the essence of what it is to be a DC student. And I'm sure you're wondering exactly what is meant when I say that, so let's break it down and analyze it just a little bit. So we're starting with the first half. There is no passion to be found playing small. We've already established that this group is a very passionate group. I think it's safe to say we all love what we do, even though there are days where our weary eyes and exclamations of, "I don't give a fill in the blank," might suggest otherwise as we struggle to make it to 7:30 classes in a timely fashion. When we talk about playing small, I interpret that in one way as playing safe, not taking chances, and letting fear dictate our decisions. The quality of not making fear-based decisions started before day one of quarter one when people moved to Portland from all across the country. Once we started classes, it did not take long to realize that you cannot make it through this program if you play it safe. This includes dissecting a human cadaver, which is actually a really amazing experience. We then migrated over to our BioPalp 1 class, and after instructions on finding the trapezius, rhomboids, scalenes, ribs, spinous processes, we put our hands on our patients' backs and proceed to feel nothing. The internal monologue sounded something like, "Is that an SP? I think that's a rib. Where on earth are the scalenes? I can't feel them. I'm going to be a chiropractor. I can't feel anything. How am I going to do this?" There's a real element of vulnerability when you just don't know. And it takes courage to keep trying, keep learning, and keep exploring. It also took courage to sit, albeit trembling, in our very first Clin Phase lecture. And and when donning the white coat before stepping into our first standardized patient encounter? How about performing our very first chiropractic adjustment? Or being called over the PA system in the campus health center for our very first patient? The feeling of accomplishment when completing all of these firsts can be distilled down to a runner's high. It's slightly euphoric, and then combined with the realization that we can do this, and we did in fact survive, things are looking good. And while I'm on a tangent relating to school and clinical experiences, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank all our professors, instructors, and clinicians for all of your support and commitment to our success and showing up to class energized, excited, especially when you have 50 pairs of tired eyes peering back at you after long days and long nights as DC students. So thank you. But I digress. I don't think you'll be surprised when I tell you that this enthusiasm of this class permeates through all elements of their lives. I bet you're curious as to what that means, so I won't keep you in suspense. And yes, these are all true stories. The first involves a giant tub. Those of us who know it well. Yes. Literally gallons of voodoo donuts. Week 5, magically appeared in the classroom. Week 5 is above midterm week, so donuts are well deserved. Everyday passion also encompasses being armed with beach towels and shorts and racing out between 9:20 and 9:40 on the summer days for a 20-minute break to, capture those rays, because vitamin D deficiency is a real problem in the Pacific Northwest, and we are embracing the task of rendering it obsolete. It has been seen when toting forest-foraged fungi around campus to share with colleagues, and can be heard at earth-shaking levels in the school gym. Yes, at the squat rack, but more importantly at the foosball table. From what I gather, the term gorilla hands is frequently used and brings vivid images of shaking tables and primal shouting to mind, so I'll let your imagination run wild with that. And I'm very aware that these examples seem very silly and probably simple, but I feel compelled to emphasize that when the simple parts of your day are done with passion, excitement, and flair, it demonstrates a real strength in the outlook and the personality of the individual. Where there is someone who loves what they do and can get excited about seemingly simple and mundane things, you'll most certainly find a new chiropractic doctor who's going to give 110% to their patients. I hope I've made it clear that this fervor transcends the realm of strictly chiropractic, which leads me to the final component of the quotation. I don't want to offend anybody, but let me reiterate so we're all on the same page. There is no passion to be found playing small in settling for a life that is less than one that you are capable of living. I believe that everyone graduating today does love the profession that they are entering into. But at the end of the day, what keeps the internal fire stoked, what keeps all of us going, is the people closest to us. Being able to surround ourselves with family and friends who love and inspire us, be it in person, over the phone, or FaceTime, has been instrumental to our success in getting through this program. And so on behalf of all the graduates, I want to extend a wholehearted and very sincere thank you for your love and support in our journey. The good news is the storm has subsided, and it can only get better from here. I know everyone involved in the life of a DC graduate, either today or in the past, knows exactly what I mean when I say that. In closing, as we meet this next transition, I hope you all move forward with the courage, the inspiration, and the zeal which I've observed over the past 3 years. And that not only your practice, but your entire life becomes everything that you could ever imagine it would be. Congratulations, and keep playing big, being bold, and living passionately.